So guys, we made a nice run last week. This week of getting my fermentation process going again. I'm going to make just a straight spirit with sugar, and then I'm going to see if I can add flavorings to make a gin and a vodka and a few other drinks. So it's just a straight sugar run. So I'll show you what I've done now. All right, so I've got my sugar wash there. It's actually 8 kilograms of white sugar in 24 liters of water. And I've just pitched the yeast. The yeast that we're going to be using is this one over here, Turbo Classic yeast. Ferments a high ABV wash, up to 20% ABV. So we've put the turbo yeast in, and now what I'm also going to add is the turbo carbon, which reduces the unwanted flavors. It produces a cleaner fermentation. So it's the carbons that will go in here. It will absorb all the unwanted flavors. And then after fermentation, before I put it through the still, we'll put the clear wash in that will actually clean out all the solids and remove all the unwanted flavors. They will sink to the bottom. Then we rate the top, and that will go through the still to make a nice pure alcohol. So I'm hoping to get about 80%. There's the still, and this should only take a matter of a week to ferment. So this is the turbo carbon. It's a carbon which absorbs unwanted flavors. So let's give this a stir. It's the first time I use this carbon cleaner, and they say you put it in with the turbo yeast, and that will eventually sink down to the bottom. Carbon being heavier, the molecular structure of carbon, it absorbs all the unwanted flavors from the yeast and sinks down to the bottom. So that's probably enough stirring. All right, now we'll put the air trap on, fill it up with a bit of water, and very soon that'll be starting to ferment and the process begins. Rapid fire fermentation, gunfire, isn't that amazing? So before fermentation, the specific gravity was 1.108. So we'll see what that drops down to. But man, I can't believe this thing is fermenting so well. Anyway, it's only been 12 hours, so we've probably got another day or two before the fermentation process ends. Alright guys, so what I've got here is this copper mesh, a very fine copper mesh. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it right into the head of the still, right down to the bottom. So it's right in there, like that. There we go, so you can see it in the still there now. See it in there, right inside. And then that goes back onto the wash. I'll show you the wash here. There's the clear wash now. And I'll get the gas going, and then the process begins. Okay guys, we're going to be putting this sugar wash through the still. So yes, I just used about 10 kilograms of white sugar, and that's fermented now. So the specific gravity before fermentation was 1.108, and then after fermentation it was 0.990, as you can see there. Times that by 131.25 gives you an alcohol by volume of 12%. So that's quite high. So what we're going to do now, here's my still and the condenser, and we're going to siphon off through this hose over here. We're going to siphon all the good fermented wash into the still, and we want to siphon it because I don't want to pour it in. you'll see inside over here there's like a black line along the top. That's from the carbon. We put a product in, a carbon, which absorbs all the unwanted flavors, like the yeast and any unwanted flavors. And then we put another additive in, which you pour on the top, and then it takes everything down to the bottom. So right at the bottom here, you'll see over there, that's all carbon, black carbon. So we don't want to get that into the wash. That's the unwanted flavors, because they'll be released when the water boils eventually, if you get that into the wash. So what we want to do is put this in here. I'll just put that in there, not too deep, and then we'll suck it out here and put it into the store. Here we go. Here we go. It's working well. So now we're siphoning this beautiful, clean wash that's been siphoned through our little non-toxic hose into the still, which holds about 25 liters. So I've cleaned the still out. It's nice and clean. I've sealed it at the joint. We'll be putting the gas on, heating it up to temperature, and then the fermentation, the stilling process begins. So that's exciting. All right, guys, we'll just let this run out. Today is a little bit overcast, as you can see, but yeah, it's a nice day to be doing this outside. So check at this, guys. Here's the carbon in the bottom. So I've siphoned all the clear wash off the top. It's in the still now, and that's the carbon with the unwanted flavors. So you don't want to get that in the still, otherwise that'll then release those unwanted flavors back into the actual spirit. So now I'm going to go through another process. I'm going to put some copper mesh in the head of the still, because what that does is when there's vaporization taking place and there's moisture, as in water, then it sticks onto the, as it goes through the still, through the condenser over there, the water molecules stick onto the mesh, the copper mesh, and drop back down into the still, whereas the ethanol, the spirits, the vapor goes through the mesh, and so you get a more pure spirit coming out the end. So I'll do that now. Check it out, guys, it's going well. The first batch is going. I've got my little tester over here, a little flame, to check the spirit content of what I'm making. So I put some of the initial, the 4 shots into a syringe, and we'll check it out, see what it does. Wow! It is highly spirited. So very good. I'm sure this is going to be a good drop, man. Okay, guys, it's done. Check this out. This is the takings for the day. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 jars of good spirit. Starting off at 72%, 70%, 66, 64, 60, 50, 45, and then 30, and tails. So yeah, that's all good. Looking forward to getting it all together, thinning it down to about 37 or 38%, and then making some nice vodka, some nice gin, and maybe a bit of Bacardi. That'll be nice. Pretty good. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch up on the next one, eh? Pretty cool.